The mechanisms of ventilation. The mechanisms of ventilation involve inspiration, or inhalation, and expiration, or exhalation. Inspiration is when we breathe in, moving air into our lungs, while expiration is breathing out, moving air out of the lungs. Before discussing this process, let's review two important concepts that the mechanisms of ventilation rely on. First, diffusion. Diffusion involves movement from areas of greater concentration to areas of lower concentration. This is important to ventilation as the pressures outside of the body and inside the lungs is the driving force of inspiration and expiration. The next important factor of ventilation is Boyle's law. Boyle's law states that volume and pressure are inversely proportional. Essentially, when volume increases, pressure decreases, and vice versa. At rest, the pressure inside the lungs and outside the body are equal. Therefore, there is no airflow. The process of inspiration requires the muscles associated with breathing, the intercostals and the diaphragm, to contract and pull the thoracic cavity outwards. Following Boyle's law, since the size or volume of the thoracic cavity increases, the pressure in the lungs decrease. And remembering diffusion, since the atmospheric pressure outside of the body is now greater than the pressure inside the lungs, the air is forced into the lungs like a vacuum. In simple terms, the diaphragm shortens, pulling the lungs downward, increasing their size. The pressure decrease in the lungs triggers the air outside to be sucked into the lungs. Bam! Inhalation. Expiration is essentially the opposite. The diaphragm relaxes, pushing the thoracic cavity inwards, causing the lungs to decrease in volume, causing the pressure in the lungs to increase. The atmospheric pressure outside of the body is now lower than the lungs, and therefore, air is forced out of the lungs. Let's simplify again. The diaphragm relaxes and elongates, causing the lungs to decrease in size. The pressure in the lungs increases, triggering the air to be forced outside of the body. Exhalation. And that is the mechanisms of ventilation. Happy breathing!